Hello and welcome to Straight Onto Disney, a Disney deep dive and analysis podcast, where each week I, your host Jonathan, takes a deep dive into the history of each Disney film and the legacy that they left behind. I'd like to remind you that you can follow me on Instagram at Straight Onto Disney Pod, and you can email me your thoughts at straightontodisneypod@gmail.com. Hello and welcome to this week's Straight Onto Disney, where we're going to be chatting all things D23 predictions. That is going to cross across the parks and the films as we ramp up to what will be, we're thinking, a very big D23. And to discuss this all, I'm joined by Tom. Hello, Tom.
Hello.
Welcome back to the podcast.
I know it's been to be fair, it's been a while on
Yeah, it's been quite a substantial time.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah, it's been a while, but as always, we're gonna
Mm.
dive into D23 as we've kind of discussed throughout the months leading up to this of what we think, what we don't think will happen, what some crazy things this week have made things a bit baffling of what is going to happen. So, what I'm going to do, what we're going to do is we're going to go through park to park to then film to film. So it's going to be easy just to discuss everything that we think would come from Walt Disney World in the Walt Disney World section, what we think will happen at Disneyland, and so on, so on. So I think starting off with Walt Disney World, I think the biggest things that I'm going to predict, and the biggest things that are probably likely is the four lands that we know are coming: your Tropics of America, Monstropolis, Villains Land, and Piston Peaks. And as we've chatted, out of the four, it seems to be that Piston Peaks is the one ramping up to open first. And we know one ride, but we still don't know what the other ride is. So, what are we thinking on those four? hmm
I mean, to be fair, from when I was there in June,
hmm
the construction for Piston Peak looked like it was, I would want to say not near completion, but like it was like there's been a lot of work done
hmm
since the beginning of it. Um, but I do feel like it will be actually different. I do feel like the Tropics of America will actually be finished first. Just
Okay.
because I feel like from what I could see over like the walls and stuff like that, and what like overhead footage is like showing, it looks like the Encanto ride is going to
hmm
be done is going to be done a lot quicker. And to be fair, with
Okay.
the Indiana Jones one, it's kind of difficult to predict
hmm
because they've kind of got the same track layout. It's the same ride, just with different like shots and stuff like that. Where like it's
hmm
instead of dinosaurs, it's like a temple and stuff like that, whatever. And it's kind of just the outer bit that needs like it's like more of a temple than just like a just a building. I
hmm
feel like it's gonna get completed maybe either around about the same time as Piston Peak or just a little bit earlier.
Okay, that's a good shout, and I think we're probably gonna get more so for Tropics. If we were gonna get any ride POVs or looks of what they look like inside, they seem to be the ones more so than what we might get for the others. Whereas I do predict, and this is more of a hope, is that they tell us what rides Villain Land's gonna have and confirm them rather than the ones we've speculated on and the ones that we kind of want.
I mean, it's kind of been like the bigger rumor that obviously Maleficent is going to be the main like focus of the main ride in the in that part of the park with like a Maleficent's roller coaster. I do feel like I know there's been rumors they're going to make like a water ride based around Ursula
Yeah.
or Hades.
Mm,
Or there's going to have a Hades like themed restaurant, like an underworld restaurant, which I think would be quite cool.
yeah. It would be. Yeah, I'm just intrigued. I just feel like they need to pinpoint what that land's gonna look like. Whereas when it comes to the other lands that we're getting for these parks, obviously this Monstropolis is in Hollywood Studios, Tropics, Animal Kingdom, and these two being for Magic Kingdom, it feels like Villains Land the blank is a blank canvas compared to the other lands where you can kind of guess what they're gonna do.
Yeah. I feel like as well, I feel like the concept art for the Villains Land and Piston Peak have been very like subtle in the sense
Hmm.
like we kind of know exactly what Tropical America is going to look like. We know exactly what Monstropolis is going to look like. In the
Yeah.
sense of like Piston Peak, we've seen like concept of like what the ride's going to look like, but not the whole land as a whole.
Hmm. Yeah, I do agree, and I kind of think I wouldn't mind if we get story details on how these lands are going to be built within the story of, especially with Monstropolis Land. What's the story there of how park visitors are able to go into Monstropolis Land, and I kind of hope it's more of a hope than a prediction because I don't know if they will. Is they might show a bit off of how that ride's going to work. I kind of just need to know a bit more.
I feel like D23 will be the perfect time to generally tell people like what's actually happening with it and
Hmm.
what's it gonna look like, how is it gonna work, what we're getting like in terms of like rides and meet and greets and restaurants and stuff like that. I feel like
Yeah.
all the stuff in D23, I feel like is a perfect time for Disney to kind of uncover and give more insight of like what's actually to come.
Hmm. Yeah. I 100% agree, and I think especially with Villains Land, we kind of want to know what is going to go in there. What is going to go in there? Your characters that you'll be able to meet. Is it going to be more because you need villains walking around it, and I feel like they need to start
Mhm.
embracing that side of it a little bit more. And I get why they don't, but
I mean, it's always been a thing for like a while now, where like
Mhm.
because of like things that happen with actors when they walk around,
Yeah,
it's more of the case of that, just like the few spoilers for the rest in
yeah,
that sense, and that's kind of why they don't walk around anymore. And it's a shame that they don't, because I feel like it makes the park so much more interactive. But
yeah,
because of stuff that happens in like
yeah,
time schedules and allowing like the cast members themselves to like get a break and stuff like that. It's hard to like keep up with pleasing everyone.
yeah,
So it's kind of gonna be a hard thing for them to walk around unless it's like just for Halloween they do it even. I feel like that's
yeah.
kind of a time where the Villains Land is gonna be like excelling in.
Hmm. Yeah, that's not a bad shout. And I think if I'm gonna we're looking at where the plans are. I do think I don't know if it'll be announced now, but I feel like a Tomorrowland update is gonna come at some point. Just because from looking at it, it feels like every other area of Magic Kingdom's had a bit of a refurb, and then get with us updating like yeah, spin. It just feels like Tomorrowland needs updated. I'm not going to say we need to get rid of any rides. I just feel like a bit of modernizing it might help just bring people back into
I
the area.
mean, the Carousel of Progress is currently shut
Yeah.
for a year
Hmm.
refurbishment. Um, just to kind, I think what they're going to be doing is they're going to have like I think by the looks of it, they're gonna have like a different queue system where it's gonna showcase the stages that were in the original Carousel of
Yeah.
Progress, like them couple of
Hmm.
years, and then the new version of Carousel of Progress is gonna showcase more of because obviously originally when Carousel of Progress came about was like the first bit you see is in the past. The bit that you see at the time when Disney World opened was the present
Hmm.
and then the future. So
Yeah.
realistically, that means that we're going to get like an 80s to 90s first bit, at
Hmm.
20s now, and then what potentially the future is going to look like in like 20, like in 2050, something like that.
Hmm. Yeah. And that's another thing I'd completely forgot we were getting redone was carousel. So it kind of includes the point here that it does feel like that area seems to be getting some love, considering there's a massive space for Stitches. Monsters feels like it's gonna get moved to Hollywood Studios.
Hmm.
It feels that way, even though I'm a bit like, oh, do we need it? But it just feels like. But then again, like your spin didn't get moved when Toy Story lands, so maybe it might stay. Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think the last floor will probably stay where it is.
Hmm.
Um, like you say, like spin's still there. Even stuff like the Woody and Jesse like stuff that they're now doing at the minute for Toy Story 5 is in Frontierland.
Okay,
So
that's
like
cool.
they could have easily done that in Toy Story Land, but they decided to put
Yeah.
it in Frontierland because it's more like cowboy themed.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. So I think there is something in that. I'm probably going to say nothing for Epcot. It just feels like there's something's going on in everywhere at the moment that I feel like Epcot might just be left for now for a little bit. Hmm.
I feel like if they were to add anything, maybe some like expansions to some of the pavilions and stuff like that, maybe some um I mean the ideal thing in my opinion if they were to add anything to Epcot would be a new pavilion.
Hmm.
Um in the sense of like a Greek one. Because a Greek pavilion would be incredible to have as like an
Oh,
added
yeah.
pavilion in that sort of world showcase.
Hmm.
Mainly just
Yeah.
I just want to
Anything.
Guy Ross at Disney. That's kind of why. I
Yeah.
just want to Guy Ross at Disney.
Mm. Anything to get more Hercules in them parks.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else Magic King. Well, just Walt Disney World in general. I feel like Walt Disney World's got so much going on right now that it's more like just more details on what is coming is what we want, really, and just
Mhm.
more meet and greet.
I do feel like with Monstropolis, I do feel like it's going to bring a whole new crowd to Hollywood Studios. Because to be fair, I'll be honest, Hollywood Studios in itself is busy anyways, just because of how popular the park is. Just because you've
Yeah.
got Star Wars, you've got Toy Story, you've got Muppets and stuff like that. Adding Monstropolis to it is going to
Hmm.
really lead to an even busier park. So I do feel like what they might do is have Monstropolis, but then have expansions in terms of like how wide like the area is, how much space there is to just walk around.
Hmm.
Because I do feel like, especially at the minute, because when I was there, obviously they've got like the walls up from Monstropolis and stuff like that. To get into Galaxy's Edge is
Hmm.
very bottlenecked. So they're gonna
Oh.
have to like really like widen the area of like where people can move around and stuff like that.
Hmm. Okay, that's interesting. So yeah, I think that's really it when I'm thinking about Walt Disney World. So let's move over to Anaheim with Disneyland. I don't, if I'm being truthfully honest, I don't think anything's really going to get announced for the main park. I think the biggest thing we could get for California is them diving into this big Avengers e-ticket ride. It feels like it's the
Mhm.
like, biggest thing they could showcase what's going on with that.
I do feel like it's been a long time since the first announced that they were gonna make it. And obviously then the like sort of development stage of like how the ride system's gonna work and stuff like that still. But I
Mm-hmm.
do feel like having a bit more giving people more of an idea of what it actually is going to be. Because we've seen the ride system, we've seen that's gonna be about like Avengers against
Mm-hmm.
Thanos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I do feel like in the right time, depending on when it opens, they should have like I don't know, like something like even like a Doctor Doom sort of thing. I know at the minute Universal has that,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not too sure how able they are to do that, unless that's just in the Florida one. I don't know if they've still got a Marvel
That
thing in the California
I
Universal.
don't I don't think so. I think the difference is that Disney are able to do Marvel everywhere except Walt Disney World.
Florida. Mm.
That's the indication I feel like, which is why you've got the place in Paris. You've got it of. I
Mm.
feel like that's. I think it is literally just Walt Disney that can't do
Mhm.
for
Because
now.
of the rights they've still got to Marvel's like the Fantastic Four bit,
Yeah, to
the Hulk
everything.
ride, the Mhm.
Yeah,
I
like
do
they.
feel like eventually
hmm
that contract will run out, and I do feel like Universal's going to have to obviously get rid of it eventually,
Well,
which then is,
there's been
I mean,
a lot of talk of it over the last few months and
mm,
years that it's going, and
yeah,
ultimately, I wouldn't mind if it means we get some new stuff in Universal.
yeah.
Truthfully,
Because I'll be honest, Universal Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, if you strip away the Harry Potter segments of it,
hmm
it does feel very outdated and very like it needs something
yeah.
more than just Harry Potter to kind of carry the weight of them two parks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I agree, and I also before this is sidestep, but who cares right now? Universal needs to get more accessible because
Mm,
it's it it's one of the reasons why if I'm looking at doing say in the future if I do look at doing it, it is a factor that I have to think about. And from what I've seen and what I've been told from people I know who are also disabled about Universal, it's very inaccessible. And if you and a lot of their rides are screen rides, so my eyes on a lot of them rides, it's just not feasible. So
mm.
if Universal are listening, which they're probably not, but can we maybe make it a bit more better?
To be fair, studios is especially
hmm
studios like I think there's like how many rides that aren't screens? I think there's
Yeah,
like
there's
actually I don't think there is any.
hmm
No, does the Mummy have screens?
I don't think so.
Might be just the Mummy then.
Money, the money, the mummy.
It might just be the Mummy and maybe it's the Men in Black ride potentially
Mm, yeah.
because they've gotten rid of Rip Ride Rocket now,
hmm
which I'm surprised they haven't thought about replacing already. Islands Adventure is a bit more accessible. I mean, it's just because of Dr. Seuss Land's got
Yeah.
no screen ride or anything like that. Um, the Islands Adventure Harry Potter section's got like only one screen
hmm
ride, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
But I just find it interesting, and obviously it's a bit of a sidestep, but going back to that Avengers ride, I think they need to work out what they are doing with that. And I feel like this is probably the best time they can reveal or just explain more about it because it feels like the biggest thing, other than this rumored, this Avatar land that's now been rumored to be going, which is then being rumored to be not going. So it's an interesting one because I do remember a lot of people saying it's going to get replaced with Zootopia. So I'm not sure about what they're going to announce when it comes to that.
I do feel like if they are going to put Zootopia anywhere, I feel like they are going to put it in potentially Paris.
hmm
Because I mean, to be honest, because of the new like nighttime show in Adventure World, the Cascade Lights,
hmm
there is no point in putting a massive segment of Zootopia in it,
hmm
and Hercules in it, and Mulan in it, and not doing something with that.
hmm Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I don't, to be honest, I feel like if they're going to announce things, I think for California, it's probably going to be this one. Whereas of things that we don't know about that they've been doing in the background, that's just the big thing that I can think of, as well as the Coco ride. I think still happening.
Mm. I think it is. It's kind of very similar to the free Caballeros ride in Epcot,
Yeah.
and that's
hmm
kind of the similar sort of vibe it's going for.
Mm. Yeah. So I think we can move on to Disneyland Paris, and I think the biggest things for Paris is they're going to be hammering about how well Adventureland's done this year, and I
Mhm.
think the biggest things are going to be your Lion King ride and whatever else they're going to bring in. Hmm.
Which I can imagine is going to be the likes of like what's represented on that Cascade of Light show.
Hmm.
Because like you've got a Frozen section, you've got a Marvel section, you've got an Up, and I think there's a Rapunzel section in it. Actually, I don't think
Okay.
there is. Um, but then you've got like Hercules, you've got Milan, and you've got um like Zootropolis
Hmm.
in that segments of that show. So surely if you're showcasing that, surely you're going to showcase it in that park in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout, and I think they know how popular those films are, and I think they should do, especially with Mulan and Hercules. It needs something. They need.
Yeah. I mean, it'll also be cool to have like as like what they have in is it Shanghai or Hong Kong? It's one of the two, where they've
Yeah, it's
got the
wonderful.
actual like land. Like that'll
Hmm.
be cool to have in like this part of the world as well.
Hmm. Yeah, and then I'm not sure about anything else otherwise park wise for Paris, other than maybe something gets added to the original park, but I doubt it because nothing else has. The
Well, there is rumors that they might be getting rid of Autopia, and
oh, hmm.
in that section where Autopia is plus a little bit more land, they might be putting like a Galaxy's Edge.
Okay, interesting.
There is rumors that they might be getting rid of Autopia to put a Star Wars land in there.
Hmm.
But all the rumors always say Star Wars land, they never say Galaxy's Edge, so it might be something a bit different.
Which wouldn't be too bad if they do something a little different that makes this
Hmm.
one unique.
Because they might even fit it, because obviously like the theme of Discovery Land isn't like Tomorrowland. Like the Discovery Land is like themed around like a very famous book by a French author that's like about like futuristic stuff and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So they might potentially make like a Galaxy's Edge that keeps that sort of theme.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a bad shout, and I can see them doing that. Hmm. So other park wise, obviously we've got Tokyo, Hong Kong, Shanghai. If I'm truthfully honest, I'm not sure what to expect from them. They'll probably do something Shanghai wise because it's the 10th anniversary of the park this year. So I kind of feel like
I
they might
think
small things.
the only thing I can think of that they would talk about, because Tokyo is revamping their Space Mountain to
Mm-hmm.
like a really like high tech futuristic. Their Space Mountain looks like Tron.
Okay.
So they might talk a bit more about
Mm-hmm. That's not a bad. That's not a bad shout, to be honest. Like when it comes to those three parks, I'm like, I'm not sure what they could do because they're not like on the radar. You're a bit like, eh, let's see what
that.
they
Yeah.
suggest and do. Hmm. So yeah, I think that really covers the park side of what it's going to be D23 this year. That's the predictions wise. So we're going to now move on to the films, and the best way to do this is to just go down and go Disney animation, then move on to Pixar, and then go that way. I'm going to try and leave Marvel for last because I kind of want to give you a spoiler warning for it because there is things that we
Mhm.
are going to talk about that we can't really not talk about because it's getting blown up everywhere, and I'm trying my best not to promote a lot of what this is.
Just in case like anyone hasn't seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, really.
Yeah, that is the main thing because the rest of it seems to be more not confirmed, whereas one big thing has been by that film. So I kind of just want to have that there. There will be a spoiler warning then. So I think let's start with Disney, the Disney Animation Studios, and this clearly D23, and I don't know how much of this is going to be ramped up in the next few days. Its marketing, Hex is going to be everywhere as it rightly should be, considering it's not, and it should have an official trailer released to the masses from D23.
I mean, it's already got like it's like a partially like trailer, isn't it? I've
hmm
kind of got at the minute. So to have like a really cool new trailer about it and like talk a bit more about it will be quite a good idea, probably for Disney to then talk about. Because how many more films have they got booked for this year? I think it's literally is it just Hex now?
It's just the last few Disney films of the era. Hex for Disney, Avengers Doomsday for Marvel. That's it. Now,
Is Gato not coming out this year? Or is it next year?
which one?
Gato,
Gato's February 2027.
right? I don't know. I couldn't remember if it was later this year or early next year.
Yeah, early next year.
I mean, they'll probably still talk about Gato, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. That's gonna go in Pixar. But yeah, Hex, like, I'm sorry, but Hex needs to be pushed hard because if you compare this, because you can compare this to the Zootopia marketing last year. Zootopia was able to do a lot more because obviously it was a sequel, but they pushed it so much from May. Whereas with
Hmm.
Hex, there doesn't seem to be that much push considering this film is an original story and it's going to need a lot more heavy lifting marketing than Zootopia would have done.
Yeah. Like I feel like with Zootopia, kind of, it's so easy to make the marketing because it kind of sells itself now.
Mm,
But
exactly.
like, I feel like with Hex, I feel like because not a lot of people still know about it really. I feel like this is their kind of opportunity to kind of like really push this as like their film for this year,
hmm
considering that they're not making another one this year. So it's like it's kind of their opportunity to kind of say like, look, this is the only film you're gonna get this year.
hmm
We've put a lot of effort into it, hopefully, and
Yeah.
hopefully like enjoy it kind of thing.
No, I agree. And there's other things we'll chat about in a second that I'm like, you really need to push this because it feels like it's going to get overshadowed by a lot of things.
Hmm.
And I think they need to get Haley Steinfeld, who is leading this film, they need to push her a bit more in its marketing. And I'm sure she's going to be there on Saturday to be able to go, this is what this film's going to be about. Mm,
Yeah, it's. I mean, like even the stuff I've seen, like you kind of get an idea what the film's going to be, like
mhm,
the theme of the film, but it's like you don't really know what the film's like about. Like,
mhm,
what is the reason for them making this film in the first
yeah,
place?
exactly. And they need to push it because one of the biggest things I'm predicting is next year is we're going into Frozen. Frozen 3 is next year. So I'm gonna be like this next weekend, they're likely gonna start announcing story for Frozen 3. They're gonna have the cast there of what that's gonna be. And it feels like if Frozen 3 and Frozen 4 seem to be overshadowing a lot of what Hicks needs to be. And I'm
Mhm.
worried the level of that might affect it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a concern because obviously we've got so many films planned,
hmm
but so many of them are like already established, like popular films,
hmm
anyways. So realistically, what Disney kind of need to do is understand that them films like Frozen and Zootopia and stuff like that are going to sell themselves
hmm
and kind of really push the marketing on the films that not many people are going to really know much about.
Yeah. And that's the shame. That's the shame of it, of where it's heading. Because from looking at what seems to be getting talked about is I'm expecting a slate. we're just going to use Marvel terms because it's easier, a slate of, Frozen 3 and Frozen 4, Zootopia 3, Moana 3. It feels like that's what they're banking on, and maybe some originals within there, but I'm not sure we need a lot of them, and maybe we need to see what other original stuff they're thinking about doing.
Mm.
Mm.
I mean, after Moana 2, I don't think they need a Moana 3.
I
And the
don't,
live action.
yeah, no, I don't either, and I think we've got to be careful with how much we make of them. Hmm.
I feel like with Frozen, I feel like they'll always make Frozen just because it's that popular.
Hmm.
It's it's one of their IPs that are like are always going to be popular regardless.
Yeah.
So to make more of them is going to then keep that fan base like always coming back.
Hmm. Yeah, I do agree, and I think the 3 and 4 seem to be their Infinity War and Endgame of Disney films. That's what it feels like. From like the small bits that they seem to be talking about, but I do think it's going to be a massive, big part of that panel because they know it's going to sell.
Mhm. Are they going to actually like dive into the theory that Rapunzel and Frozen are in the same universe?
Imagine we're not doing
This
Tangled.
is why we didn't get a this is why
Yeah,
we didn't get a Tangled sequel because she's in one of the Frozen films.
it would be funny if that is what ends up happening. We couldn't make a sequel, however, but other than that, I don't think there's too much.
Rapunzel will return in Frozen 4.
Yeah, that's the end credit of Frozen 3. The end of Frozen. The end of Frozen 3 ends. Sit there for a few hours waiting for credits to end, and then it pans on her tower.
Just just a lantern appears on the screen.
Yeah, it's either the tower, the lantern, and then it just there's Rapunzel vomit. But yeah, that feels like a natural place to end with Disney because I don't think there's too much to discuss because we don't know a lot, and it's not as easy to predict with Disney than it is with Pixar. So when it comes to Pixar, we now have confirmed Gato releases in 2027. We then have The Incredibles. We have The Incredibles 3 in 2028. We have Coco 2 in 2029. And then we have Monsters Inc. 3 at some point. Well, technically it's Monsters Inc. 2, but obviously it's the third one because
Yeah.
of Monsters University. And I kind of feel like we can just start throwing some things at the wall. Do we think Cars
Mm.
4 is going to get announced?
It's more of the case to I want Cars 4 to happen.
Mm,
As much as I love Cars, I feel like 3 ended so perfectly where I feel like if they do make another one, I feel like it's kind of not gonna have the same weight to it.
mm,
It's like the same as like when people say about Toy Story 3.
mm-hmm.
Like they feel like they should have ended it at 3 because the ending was like the like a chapter closing fully.
Yeah. I just feel like it's inevitable that it's going to happen. I'm just like,
Yeah.
do I need it? No, but do I think it's going to happen? Yes.
Am I still gonna go to the cinemas and watch it? Absolutely.
Yeah. And maybe it might end up being a Toy Story 5 of the Cars film. So you never know. Like, and then an interesting thing is before we start diving into, obviously, they've talked about they're doing some original stuff as well. I'm intrigued as to hear, do you, with The Incredibles 3, because I'm expecting we'll get plot stuff and they'll have the cast out to say that they're definitely coming back. I am a bit sad that we're not aging them up. It seems to be that we're just going to continue where it left off with, and I'm like,
I mean, to be fair, where we left off, so like Incredibles 1 ends where Incredibles 2 starts, really.
yeah,
So it's kind of like there isn't even like a time jump at all,
hmm
really, in between 1 and 2. So maybe they might just do the same thing where like we pick up exactly where we left off.
yeah. And I feel like they just need. I'm just intrigued to see what the story's going to be, and I'm a bit like, let's just wait and see before I start going. Would it be interesting to do it aging them up? I'm just a bit like, As long as we
It
get the
might be
young.
also a case of like trying
Hmm
to bring back like trying to like abolish the laws of like supers,
hmm
like having to hide and stuff like that, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just intrigued, and I feel like that's going to be the big push for Pix on the Pixar side of thing, other than
Mhm.
probably announcing things a Gato trailer, but I don't think it'll be like a full trailer. Probably more like the teaser we got months ago. But other than that, I'm not thinking there'll
They
be.
might even make like a new Inside Out.
I can see Inside Out 3 happening. Mm,
Mm. Especially where like it kind of ish left off at the end of
mm,
Inside Out 2. I feel like Inside Out 3 might more because obviously we're getting these new emotions like anxiety and
mm,
stuff like that. Even though we already have had like a film dance around the topic of
mm-hmm,
of like puberty and stuff like that, like in Turning Red.
mm-hmm.
Like it would be kind of interesting to see what it would look like from like the inside out perspective.
Yeah, and I kind of think this is no shade to that film, but I kind of think it might work a bit better in
Mm.
the Inside Out bubble than they wanted it to, which is no offense to that film, but
I
mm,
feel like with Turning Red, I feel like they kind of used like the puberty side of it as more of a metaphor.
yeah,
Like the panda is like is like more of a metaphorical thing in terms of the story, but I feel like Inside Out would dive into it as like the same way they did with anxiety.
yeah,
Like they're gonna like go for it head on and just say like this is how it is,
hmm
um, kind of thing.
yeah. I see that happening, and I would not be surprised if we get Inside Out 2, not Inside Out 2, Inside Out 3. I wouldn't be surprised from it, and it's kind of expected just in the way the market's working. And Pixar, it doesn't seem to be too much. Like with Disney, there doesn't seem to be too much other than
Mhm.
what they haven't said will get announced. So maybe there is a lot of surprises when it comes to the animated side of Disney and Pixar this year in what we don't know about.
Even if like
Hmm
they make like sequels to like films that haven't touched on in a while, like Brave.
that
Like
would
if they
be
could make like
cool.
a Brave 2 would be quite cool. I don't
Hmm
know how they would go about it, but
Yeah. I could see that, and I think there's ways of doing that that would be cool. However, um, yeah, it's an interesting one that I think we could definitely see them dipping it into that well, because Brave, it did well, but not like massively well, and people do see that as when the Pixar declined. But I do think in the right hands, you could get a really interesting story of where it could go.
mhm. I feel like if it's like the same with Tangle, like they cancelled Tangle 2
Hmm
because they didn't feel like the story that they had was good enough. But I
Yeah,
do feel like if they do have a story that is good enough for Brave, I feel like Pixar should potentially like at least look into it.
yeah, because there's so many great stories to delve into from those films. So we've chatted about Disney animation, we've chatted about Pixar. Let's move across to live action Disney. And I think the biggest thing that's probably going to get released is going to be the date for the live action Tangled. They're going to
Mhm.
officially confirm. cast, even though we know people are in it, and I think they'll dive into Bruce playing the mum and dad a bit more. I think we're going to get a lot of live action tangles.
I think we are going to see a lot more of the CGI as well in it, like in the
Hmm.
sense of like Pascal and um, I've forgotten the name of the horse.
Oh, Maximus.
Maximus, yeah. So like
Hmm.
seeing more of like how the CGI is going to work in terms of bringing them like characters to the screen again
Hmm.
in a more live action sort of standpoint.
Yeah. So yeah,
Because
hmm
I, I hope they don't make Maximus as like a genuine like a horse, obviously, but like in the animation, he's so like he's got so much character to him without like saying any words,
hmm
and you can't really do that with something that looks like a real life horse, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, he's the one where I'm like, I'd like to have an understanding of how they're going to do that. Mm.
Hmm.
Which would be which would be interesting. I think. See, this one's the live action side of it is really it's ironically quite easy to throw out wild predictions because obviously Lilo and Stitch 2 is happening and they'll probably talk about that. I'm expecting finally and hopefully we get some Hercules news. What is going on with
Hmm.
this live action?
Well, the live action everyone's been like waiting to still be announced.
Hmm.
Hopefully, gets announced at D23.
Yeah, it has been sat there in production for longer than a lot of these live actions that have been released. So it needs to happen. I'd be shocked if we get like cast announcements and stuff, but I think it's a real big
Even if it's just like
possibility.
announcement that they are in develop, like the in development of it. Like even if they
Yeah,
don't announce any cast.
as long as they're still doing it.
Yeah, as long as like they can say like, oh, we're still like working on it. It's just like
Mhm.
taking
Yeah,
time.
yeah. I feel like that and Cruella 2 feels like it's going to get announced from the rumblings,
Mhm.
and I wouldn't be surprised at that. I would love an Ursula type version of Cruella. And I don't know if that would be announced. But then again, we've also got Gaston, which I feel like is going to get talked about. Hmm.
Yeah, like having that sort of like similar with like that sort of series like Cruella, Ursula,
Hmm.
Gaston. Could even have like a Hades one.
Yes. Hmm. And I wouldn't mind if we started doing live actions in that way, that it's a different,
Hmm.
unique story perspective, which is also very timely if they are going to do that with Villains Land. Hmm.
Because even the potential with Hades as well, they might do Hades then do Hercules.
Yes, that would work.
Because potentially that's why they haven't announced the Hercules yet, because they're wanting to see if they can do a Hades one first,
Hmm.
bring that sort of like story to life, and then showcase Hercules.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a really good way of doing that. And there's been so many reports of who's going to play them, and I just feel like we need reassurance that this live action is still happening because there's so many that could have been really good that we know aren't happening now. Robin Hood, Sword in the Stone, Aristocats. This one feels like it's the last of the Renaissance that feels plausible on screen because they don't seem to be doing Pocahontas. They don't seem to be doing Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is a shame, and I disagree with that.
Mhm. That would have been a good one to do live action wise. Hunchback of Notre Dame would be
Yeah,
incredible.
they. I would be more shocked if they go back on that decision and say we are going to do it because I'm like Hellfire in live action would just be incredible.
Oh, that would be mental.
Yeah, I'm just like I don't
That
get
would
why
be
it's
absolutely
not done here.
insane.
Yeah, So it's one where I'm like, please just reverse this decision and do it because there's so many people who love that film and would like to see it happening, and it's a better way of bringing those characters to a much more wider audience. So yeah, so other than that, I think there's not too much live action to dive into other than them announcing that, oh, we're going to do a live action Atlantis. I don't think they will, but there's
Yeah,
somewhere they could do that with live action. Emperor's New Groove getting announced.
I would love that. I would
Oh,
love an Emperor's New Groove.
yeah, that would be epic. But before we move over to Star Wars, the other big one that I feel like will get announced is this Tiana project.
Oh, I just need a live action Princess and the Frog.
Yeah,
I need it.
yeah. This is the biggie that I feel like is going to be the end of the live action panel. Is them confirming that this is happening and just talking about what they're doing with it. Hmm.
I need because I feel like that and Tangle will be probably my two favorites,
Hmm.
like live action ones probably.
Yeah, I genuinely feel like that's what we need to round it out, and I think we could genuinely see this, which is really cool to happen. And it's one that we've all been asking for a long time.
Hmm.
It was the one. I feel like this was the one when Moana got announced to be doing live action. We were like, but where's the Princess and the Frog one? Before it,
Yeah, it's like literally like everyone was like, "Oh, where's Hercules? Where's Tangled? Where's Princess and the
yeah,
Frog?"
yeah. Like, what? Why? Why are we doing this now? But it's out there now. It exists. We just move with when it comes to that film. It's there. I still haven't seen it.
Near of that.
So let's move over to Star Wars. And if I'm being truthfully honest, I have no idea what they're going to announce for it or talk about, other than this Starfighter film and Ahsoka season 2. I don't know what else they can talk about.
I mean, it's like it's. I mean, I'm someone who tries to defend Star Wars as much as possible. Well, except
Yeah.
from the sequel trilogy, I'll never defend that.
Hmm.
Um, but like, just at the minute, I feel like Star Wars is just such. It's like it's collecting dust.
Hmm.
Like it's just waiting to be like abandoned at this point for some reason. Even though the world of Star Wars is such an unbelievable like market,
Hmm.
and all they need to do by doing that is basically making like they've had the Skywalker saga. All they need to do is make a old Republic
Hmm.
saga, just about like the basically it's like the time like way before the prequels where it was just like an absolute like battle between Siths and Jedi's for an
Hmm.
entire course of like God knows how many like years. Like I feel like that needs to be like the next big thing for Star Wars, and I feel like Disney are kind of just holding back on it for some reason.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. Hmm. But obviously, my side of it is I just don't know what they could do. I'm just like, it'll get announced.
I mean, I'll have to like see after D23 to understand what Starlight's gonna be.
Hmm.
Hopefully, something good and something that isn't gonna be like not worth the while of like making.
Hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting one, and I just feel like there's a lot that they could say, but I feel like it's make or break when it comes to the Star Wars side of things at the moment.
Yeah, it's in a weird spot at the minute, and I feel like it's it's as a Star Wars fan, it's quite like annoying because just like
Yeah,
why do you just like not have the ability to make something like good again?
yeah, yeah. It's a sad one, and I can get why so many fans like yourself are so frustrated from it.
Because it's like growing up watching like the original trilogy and the prequels, like there was like so much like groundbreaking like anime like CGI act like I know a lot of people like criticize the acting in the prequels.
hmm
Um but like just the story of it, it was like it was incredible. And I don't know why they never like decided to go more back in time, like in that old Republic era where I feel like that would draw a lot of people in.
Yeah, yeah. It isn't. It's an interesting one from that standpoint. So we'll move across to before we get to Marvel. Just remembered that we've got Fox. Fox has two animated films releasing next year: Ice Age and the Simpsons movie. I'm sure they'll talk about them. Do I need either of them? No. But here we go.
I was gonna say like do we need them? Is the only reason why they're there is just so that 20th century actually have something to do.
I think so. If I'm being
I think that's
truthful.
just to keep. I think that's just to keep them employed. I think that's the only reason why they've made them. There's no other reason why we need another Simpsons movie and another Ice Age movie apart from just keeping the 20th century animation team employed.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, there's not much I can say other than they've talking about it. They come out. Ice Age 6 comes out in February. Simpsons movie comes out September next year. They'll talk about them. I just have no words left to say about them other than they're happening.
It's there. It's happening. It's
Yeah.
didn't need
So
it.
yeah, don't need them. So we're going to move just swiftly on past that, and this is the last section of this. It's going to be Marvel. Now I'm going to pre-warn people: if you have not seen Spider-Man: Brand New Day, please leave now. Come back to
And
this
then go watch
video.
it. And then come back.
Come back and watch this section when you've seen the film, because we are about to mention a massive spoiler because of what seems to be getting announced this at D23. So before we get to that, obviously, the biggest push that D23 needs to do is Vision Quest. I need
Mhm.
I need me a trailer for my for my reasons alone. If there is not a trailer, I will be rioting, considering this show releases in October and the amount of things this show feels like it's setting up and explaining for a certain film coming out in 2027.
Or potentially this year.
Or even potentially in December, which is why I'm intrigued to see if it's going to get a binge drop or be released weekly, depending on how many episodes it's going to be, because I actually don't know how many episodes it is.
It might just be like a special, like what they did with the Punisher, potentially.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like, I need me a trailer just to have a better understanding of what it is. Let general audiences have a better understanding of what this is, considering, and I'm going to word this carefully, considering this is the final part of the Wonder trilogy, we need to know what's going on because hilariously, she's the only one with a trilogy in this multiverse saga. Hilariously, the only trilogy is on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But I'm.
But like,
Hmm.
speaking of like, in terms of like Vision Quest, I feel like it's gonna be either a series or a special or whatever that isn't going to matter as a film in itself, but more of the sense of like it's going to matter for what's to come. Like it's more of like a checkpoint than like a thing that's like in itself going to be like groundbreaking.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Especially from the character that I have to tiptoe around this so much because I don't know if I'm right or wrong. From what I'm guessing is going to be a massive part of the next two Avengers films, maybe more so
Mm.
Secret Wars. A very certain comic run that involves a lot of characters that have been set up within Phase 4 through 6 that should have teamed up by now. Hmm. Being a massive big part of the big Secret Wars seems to
You
be
could
getting
you could
hints
see it's extremely important.
very, yeah, that as well as a certain young group that should have already teamed up and dealt with a certain villain that Marvel had to divert away from.
For obvious reasons.
Yes.
In
This is
terms of
so
like
fun.
in terms of like Avengers Doomsday though,
Hmm.
obviously now you anyone watching you've been warned. In terms of like the X-Men,
Yes. Here we go.
I do feel like obviously because originally X-Men were owned by 20th Century Fox,
Yeah.
I do feel like the projects that they are doing now, like the Ice Age and whatever,
Hmm.
are just placements just to keep them there for
Yeah.
when they are going to be working on X-Men.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Marvel, Disney, and 20th Century will all be working together on whatever future X-Men projects we get.
Hmm. Yeah.
Same the same kind of similar way, but less rights. But 20th Century have less rights towards the X-Men as what Sony did with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to be that kind of similar concept, except like Sony has more ownership of Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. In this vein, it's more in-house the rights because
Mhm.
they own everything.
Yeah,
Disney own Fox. It's just people at Fox are going to be involved within creating these films, which makes more sense.
yeah.
And then, so the big things we're gonna probably get this weekend for Marvel are definitely Vision Quest. I'd be shocked if there's no trailer released online. I'd be shocked if they don't at least go through all this. The indication at Comic Con seemed to be that this was D23 was going to be very Vision Quest heavy, considering he talked about it for a few seconds. I wouldn't be shocked if we get Daredevil Born Again season 3 stuff, especially.
Potentially even like a new, potentially with the appearance of Ryan Reynolds at Comic-Con.
Yeah,
Potentially that could be a hint at potentially a new Deadpool film as well.
yeah, yeah. That we'll come back to that because I do want to chat about that at some point. That was the most bizarre thing. I, because the reason why it was so bizarre is because nobody could work out what was actually going. It
Like
was
I don't even think the actors on stage actually realized it was Ryan Reynolds.
no, it was so confusing. Sat there, I think it because obviously for UK listeners, Comic Con was like 1 in the morning for us, so I'm a bit half asleep. And the people, because I was watching the live streams of people reacting to it, even the people in the room weren't sure what was going on at that moment. So it was like when he started posting photos, I was like, right, so it is him, it is them teasing something, but what was going?
It
just
was such a
bizarre.
confusing one to like look at, but it obviously means that he's either going to be in the next, either one or the first, if a
Yeah,
Doomsday or Secret Wars, or he's going to be
yeah,
announcing a new Deadpool film.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, so I expect Vision Quest, Daredevil Born Again season 3 is going to get something. Maybe they might announce that not Punisher. They might announce Iron Fist his return because
Hmm.
he is the only one who has not returned in Born Again yet. Sorry for anyone who spoilers, but Luke Cage is in the finale of Born Again season 2, so he's already back in the MCU at this point. And then, so at this point, he's the only one that they haven't like confirmed other than through the photos of Born Again being filmed. Hmm.
I mean, realistically, it'd be cool to have like the Defenders in it. I don't know how they would
Hmm.
place in like the future projects,
Yeah,
but I mean, we'll just have to probably wait and see for that.
yeah. It feels like they've rebuilt these Defenders to just do the Defenders on Disney Plus again. That feels like what's
Which I
happening.
hope not, because that
Yeah,
was,
I'm kind of a bit like, do we need to do it? Unless it's just them bringing them back to then send them off to do their own shows, which I
yeah.
wouldn't be too mad about. But I'm a
Or
there's
even have like a Defenders film.
yeah, I wouldn't be mad with that. But yeah, so that's what I'm expecting. Now, again, I'm going to precedent this. This is spoiler territory. If you have not seen Spider-Man Brand New Day yet, please, please leave or jump to the end of this podcast or just turn this off. Do not. There'll be a massive spoiler warning on the screen. But so one of the big things that everyone was expecting at Comic Con was the X-Men cast, and it didn't happen. And then you understand why it didn't happen because Spider-Man Brand New Day, Jean Grey is introduced. Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey, which is hilarious that we're gonna back in February when we were just going, is she? Is she not? What is the thought of this? So to the point now that it is the reports, the trades are now all saying X-Men cast is getting announced on Saturday. I think it's Saturday the panel. Whatever day of D23, the Marvel panel, the big film panel it is, they're saying X-Men cast is going to get announced. According to the trades, Samara Worthing is playing Emma Frost, and Kit Connor's playing Cyclops. I have no idea what's going on, other than I genuinely think this is more likely to be happening, and I'm not sure what thoughts are on it.
I mean, I do think they will announce the X-Men to an extent.
Hmm.
I feel like obviously they won't have like a full X-Men team cast yet,
Hmm.
but I feel like the main ones I feel like they will bring out is obviously Sadie Sink.
Hmm.
I feel like
Yeah.
they'll bring out whoever's been Cyclops
Hmm.
and bring out Sue Storm.
Yeah. See, I
And we
don't know
can't.
about, I don't know about Storm yet, unless they do announce who's playing Storm, but then Storm appears in Black Panther 3 to then set up for X-Men, because Storm has a lot to do with Black Panther in the comics.
It could potentially be that realistically, because they'll probably talk about Black Panther 3. So
Hmm.
what they might do is introduce Sue Storm then.
Yeah.
Or kind of do another thing that's like Sadie Sink related, where like they'll have an actor
Hmm.
be in the film but not say who they're playing.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, and I feel like if what they seem to be doing with Storm feels like she's going to be older than. I feel like if Storm feels like she might be the age range that they're going for Emma Frost, Samara Weaving, feels that way.
Hmm.
And I think
Yeah.
another reason why I'm like, this feels like it's happening is because X-Men 97 finishes on Wednesday before on Wednesday. The week before D23, X-Men 97 finishes. Hmm.
It might just be a coincidence, though.
Might just be a coincidence, but feels like a very good leaping point.
It,
And
it will be an interesting one to see, especially the Marvel panel, just because of how much now
mhm,
everyone's anticipating and waiting for the X-Men to
yeah.
just rock up.
And the biggest thing that they can do is announcing this X-Men cast doesn't take away any of the stakes from Doomsday and Secret Wars. Because by the sounds of
Mm.
things, they're not in them, and it allows and it's a better way of doing it because I'm just going to compare this. Let's compare this hypothesis to the chairs. So when them chairs got announced, Thunderbolts wasn't out yet, Fantastic Four wasn't out yet, and you were announcing all these people that were going to be in Doomsday, and it kind of took
Mm.
away a lot of the heightened stakes of who's going to die in Thunderbolts, who's going to die. Is anybody going to die in Fantastic Four? Clearly, no one was. But the fact that they didn't announce Taskmaster in Doomsday was just like, well done. You've just spoiled that.
Yeah, it's. I feel like that shouldn't make that mistake with Secret Wars
hmm
or X-Men, not have like the chance of that, or just like
hmm
I don't know how they could announce it, but I mean, just in a way that it doesn't spoil who is and isn't going to die in the next few films.
hmm And that's why I feel like That's why I feel like they announced Ghost Rider and Black
Mm.
Panther 3 to an extent, but the same by the looks of things, Shuri and M'Baku are both in that. So I was a bit
Yeah.
like, so clearly they don't die or something happens. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but interestingly, whatever happens seems to indicate. But I think having the Ghost Rider announced makes sense in that we still don't know what's going to happen. Whereas it was interesting playing if you're playing the Infinity War game, is in the run up to Infinity War we started getting a Scarlet Witch and Vision projects in development, a Black
Mhm.
Falcon and Winter Soldier things happening, Loki's happening, and then all them people die in Infinity War. You're like,
Yeah.
well done. So actually, you can play the game of so clearly going into it thinking all these people are going to survive. They don't.
Yeah.
There's a way of doing it, but who knows? But other than that, I do think X-Men is going to be the big draw if it does get
It's
if they
it's
do
going to be
enough.
it's going to be the thing everyone's going to want to be talking about
Yeah,
for sure.
it's it's the thing I feel like because I'm on doing this debate that weekend. I'm going to be like, right, just give me 10 minutes. I've got to do it because it does feel like it's going to be massive on all parts of what gets announced.
Yeah.
hmm It does, and I've been saying this for the last few weeks. It does feel like the biggest D23 in the last few years across everything, which is an interesting thing
Mm.
to think about. hmm
This is probably going to be sort of the same way as when Endgame and Infinity War got announced.
Yeah. hmm It does feel that way, but yeah, I think that's a nice point to draw this episode to a close. I don't know why did it like that. So I think that's a natural point to end this discussion over D23. And I think there's some really good predictions and points here that we've chatted and discussed about. And it's going to be interesting to see what does come next weekend of what the future of the Disney company looks at, whether that's parks, whether that's Disney Plus or film. So, Tom, where can people find you?
So you can find me on Tom02 Disney on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can also see me on my partner Lauren's Disney World vlogs from June at Lauren's Magical Moments, and here on the Straight Until Disney podcast as well.
Fabulous. So, as always, you can follow me on Instagram at Straight Onto Disney Pod, and you can email me your thoughts at straightontodisneypod@gmail.com. As always, follow along on Spotify if you just want to listen along. Like and subscribe to this video. Follow along for more topics and discussions, as well as films. And yeah, drop in the drop in the comments your predictions for D23. What are you thinking? Where do you think we're right? Do you think we're off the mark when it comes to things we're thinking about? So as always, follow along for more. Thank you all for listening, and bye.